class is all about pelvic floor and abdominal integration. So we'll be doing some gentle movements to help you connect to your pelvic floor neuromuscularly, which just means connecting your brain to the muscles that are there, as well as exploring gentle abdominal strengtheners. So we're not talking about power abs, we're just talking about starting to turn on the muscles that have maybe been sleepy or stuck turned off for a little while. So what's most important is that you listen to your body and that this practice serves you the best. So if anything doesn't feel quite right, just leave it out. All right, we're starting on your back. So you'll come all the way down in what's called Artis Shavasana, which just means your knees are bent, your feet are flat, and the arms are gonna be by your side, okay? So take a couple of deep breaths here, maybe in through the nose, out through the mouth. And after you've taken a few breaths, relaxed jaw, soft tongue, and you can close your mouth and just breathe in and out through the nose, but keep that sense of softness through the neck and jaw. As you inhale, intend for your belly to expand first, and then ballooning up through the chest, the back, the side ribs. As you exhale, softening the whole body and releasing the breath. The number one most helpful thing to do for a healthy pelvic floor is simply to take long, deep, intentional breaths. So even though you feel you're laying here and not much is happening, you're just breathing deeply, that's actually incredibly great for the pelvic floor as it gives it a little massage. The muscles down at the bottom of the torso, so sit bones on either side, pubic bone at the front, tailbone at the back, all of the muscles there mirror your diaphragm. So as you inhale, there's a gentle downward movement, giving the muscles a little stretch. Then when you exhale, there's a little engagement in the pelvic floor to help with your exhale. So just deep, full breaths will give a massage to the pelvic floor. After you've taken a few breaths here, we'll add in movement. So the feet are in quite close. You might be able to reach down and touch your heels, but don't pull them in. Knees are in line with your hips. Before we do any movement, I want you to understand why it's important to keep a soft jaw, okay? If you put your fingers just above your pubic bone and then lift your head up away from the floor, when you do this, you should feel the muscles of your neck and jaw really turn on, and you should also feel lower abdominals really turn on. So when you're trying to relax, get the lower abdominals, pelvic floor to relax, it's really important that those muscles in the neck and the jaw are also relaxed, okay? So keep those guys soft, and we'll work with the lower portion of the body. Start by taking a big breath in. Then as you exhale, we're gonna do a posterior tilt of the pelvis. You're gonna push down the low back and lift up gently on your tailbone. As you inhale, you're gonna dip the tailbone down towards the floor, accentuating this low back curve. So this is an anterior pelvic tilt. Then as you exhale, push the top of the sacrum down towards the mat, lift the tailbone up. We're gonna keep doing that with your breath. It's like we're moving from 12 o'clock down to 6 o'clock. So as you inhale, there's a bit of a release through the pelvic floor. Then as you exhale, push the low back down. Now try to squeeze the sit bones in from either side and the pubic bone towards the tailbone. As you inhale, again, relax. Sit bones move away from one another, tailbone drops down heavy. When you exhale, low back down, tailbone up, sit bones in. I'll do 3 more like that with your breath. Full big breath in. Big breath out. Continuing to rock. It doesn't have to be a big movement. Again, just accentuating the massage that naturally happens with your breath. Last one. All right, bring the pelvis back down to the mat. And so we'll say if that was a 12 and 6 o'clock movement, we're going to do a 3 and 9 o'clock movement. So we're going to move side to side in the hips. You can put your fingertips onto your, these are called your ASIS, the bony hip prominence. You'll take a nice big breath in to start. Then as you exhale, dip the left hip bone down towards the mat and the right hip bone is going to lift up. Inhale, you're coming back to neutral, feeling that sense of release through the pelvic floor. Now as you exhale, dip the right hip bone down and the left hip bone will lift up. You're gonna keep moving like that. Inhale is a neutral, relaxed pelvis, soft jaw. Exhale, swapping over, left hip bone down. Inhale to center. Exhale, right goes down. Inhale to center. You want to think about this in the pelvic floor. Pubic bone is pulling towards your left sit bone. Inhale, relax. Exhale, pubic bone is pulling towards your right sit bone. Inhale to center. We'll do one more each side. Pubic bone towards your left sit bone. Dip the left hip down. Inhale, relax. Exhale, pubic bone towards your right sit bone. And inhale back to center. All right, arms are by your side. We'll take a full big breath in. As you exhale, tip the pelvis, draw the hips up, coming into a full bridge pose. So in your bridge pose, you get a little bit of softening that happens as you inhale. Then as you exhale, sit bone to tailbone towards pubic bone, sit bones draw in. And you're gonna do that again. Take a big breath in, a little bit of relax. Exhale, sit bones in, pubic bone to tailbone, squeeze into your glutes. Take one more inhale. We'll engage one more time, nice and firm, pelvic floor, glutes opening through the front of the hips. Take a big breath in and start to lower yourself down. Let it out through your mouth. Awesome, great job. Roll over to your side. We'll make our way up into a sitting posture. So if you can, you're gonna sit with the legs crossed. We're gonna do a movement called Sufi Grinds. So Sufi Grinds is a movement you see often in Kundalini classes and other yoga styles. And often I see people moving this from the shoulders. And today we really want to focus on what's happening in the pelvis. So I've been using these landmarks a lot. Pubic bone at the front, tailbone at the back, sit bones on either side. Okay, so technically your pubic symphysis isn't a bone. It's a place where there's a lot of connective tissue at the front. Your sit bones are your ischial tuberosities at the top of the femurs, and then your tailbone is the coccyx right at the bottom of your spine. But we'll just keep the street names for those anatomical points. All right, so we're just going to think about those 4 points and then move our way through. So as you inhale, you're gonna lean forward so the pubic bone comes towards the mat, and then lean over towards one sit bone. Then as you exhale, feel the belly scoop. There's engagement through the pelvic floor as you go to the tailbone and to the other sit bone. Okay, so as you inhale, you're coming forward. Imagine drawing the tailbone out behind you, pubic bones down towards the floor. As you exhale, roll and tuck it under and move to the other side. So make these slow. I really like to time them with the breath. Again, those deep breaths are a massage for the pelvic floor. And then after you've kind of got the hang of it, you can kind of rock your way through those 4 points. You might feel the upper body can move a little more freely. So energetically, the pelvic floor has a lot to do with our sense of fluidity and creativity and feeling good. So as you work through these movements, have it feel good for your body. So maybe you start to roll the head. Maybe the shoulders gently glide around on the upper back. Catch your next inhale and start to reverse the direction, going the opposite way, still pushing pubic bone to sit bone, to tailbone to sit bone, all with the timing of your breath. Jaw soft, neck moves with fluidity. Next time you inhale, come all the way back up into a sitting posture. So the shoulders land right over top of the hips. Sit with a tall spine. So you naturally have some curves in your spine. You want to be able to feel those. You can always prop yourself up if that feels a little more in tune. Then we're going to bring a little mudra into our practice. So mudras are hand gestures that we use to generate the energy of a certain thing. So you'll often see a mudra like this when you're meditating, connecting your little self to the big self, so our consciousness to the universal consciousness. And for us today, connecting to the energy of the sacral chakra, we're going to bring the index fingers together and the thumbs together, which makes the shape of the pelvic floor, sit bones, pubic symphysis, tailbone. And we're just going to place that right below the belly button, and the hands are going to rest there. So nice tall spine here. Feel your breath deep and full, jaws soft. And integrating a little bit of breath work, we're going to do 3 Kapalabhati breaths. So that just means you're going to contract quickly right where your fingers are, and then your inhale, all you have to do is relax the belly. So it looks like this. All right, so we can do 3 of those together. Ready? Big breath in, and then 3 out. Open the mouth. Good job. We'll reset to do 3 more. Inhale through the nose. Out through the nose. Out through the mouth. Last 3. Through your nose. Close your mouth, retain the breath. Hold the breath in and imagine the energy from your breath circulating down in the pelvis. You need to let the breath out softly and relax your hands on your knees or your lap with the palms facing out. A little integration at the end for core there. If that felt like it was a bit too much for you, maybe that's where we stop. If you feel like you're ready